Mr. Sheidy was born on May 27, 1933. He enlisted in the Marines around the age of 20. 48 hours after he was enlisted, he got drafted into the Air Force. He chose the Marines since he had already enlisted. He was in the service like his two brothers, Roy, who was in the Navy, and Ray, who was in the National Guard. He boarded a train at the train station in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1953. He rode the train to Philadelphia to get a physical for his services. He then boarded another train that went to Washington, D.C. From Washington, D.C., he got on another train called the Wabash Cannonball. He then arrived in Parris Island in South Carolina to start his training. While at boot camp, Mr. Sheidy learned how to take apart, clean, and shoot guns, and also how to march. During his stay, it got very hot. Above 100 degrees, no one did nothing then anymore. Boot camp was a very tough experience for Mr. Sheidy, and he wasn't sure what to expect. After about 3 months at boot camp, Mr. Sheidy got to go on a leave home to visit family and friends. After his time on leave, he took a train to Portsmouth, Virginia to go to sea school. At sea school, he learned how to navigate on a ship by looking at the numbers above the hatches. After sea school, Mr. Sheidy went on another leave home to visit friends and family. After leave, he boarded a ship at his new home port in Norfolk, Virginia. His new home was the USS New Jersey. He got on the ship just after the Korean War. Mr. Sheidy found out he was going to be on a ship on the third week of sea school. The USS New Jersey was about the size of the courthouse in Reading, Pennsylvania. The speed of the ship was 33 knots. The ship is also known as the most decorated battleship. It has received 19 battle stars throughout its whole missions. USS New Jersey was a part of 4 battles: World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the War at Lebanon. He was on the ship with Navy men and also Marine men. On ship, some of his jobs were being an orderly and being down in the brig guarding the gangway. The ship was armed with 9 16-inch and 10 5-inch calibers. There were a lot of 40mm cannons aboard the ship. The 16-inch projectiles were 2,600 pounds apiece and took 6 bags of powder. When 9 16-inch guns shot at once, also known as a 9-gun salvo, it moved the ship sideways 110 feet in 10 minutes. There wasn't much tension or bad feelings towards one another on the ship unless one guy got mad at another. Very rarely there was a fight on the ship. If anyone got caught doing something bad, they would be punished, but most of the time they wouldn't get caught. Most guys on the ship were around the same age, around 21 years old. Usually the officers were older, but that was it. Sleeping on the ship wasn't very bad. The ship was like an underground city. It had shops, a barber, restaurants, grocery stores, and anything you could find in a normal town. It was heated or air-conditioned just like any home. The weather never got very bad. It varied from where they went in the world. If they went north, it would be cold. Around the equator, it would be warm. The water conditions were usually good too. One time, off the coast of Mount Stromboli, there were waves breaking above the ship at 65 feet. The bow of the ship went into a wave and the whole boat shook, and it made it very hard for us to stand. Some of the holidays were spent on the ship, all depending where in the world he was. If Mr. Sheidy was in his home port, he would get to go home for Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, or any major holiday. Mr. Sheidy got off the ship just before men were being drafted for the Vietnam War. Mr. Sheidy then went to be a military police for Guard Company Quantico in South Carolina. Dad was working as a bartender down at the hotel down the street, and Mom was working at the hotel too. Being in the service really helped Mr. Sheidy in his life today. It landed him the cop job in his hometown for many years. It also made him a lot stronger and braver. Nothing worries me anymore. Yearly reunions keep the men in touch and let them look back at what they've done. The USS New Jersey is now a memorial and a visitor center and is docked in Camden, New Jersey for anybody to visit.